feeder. This is a single pass scanner, so it makes one pass, scans both sides at the same time, so it doesn't have to circulate it again to do the back side. So keep this little glass right here clean. You'll see just that little space right in there. And we give you a little microfiber towel, little being the operative word. So kind of just clean that area right there. The other half is up under this little green handle. You'll see a little chrome piece and then a piece of glass. So just kind of run your microfiber towel up there, close it up, put it back, you're good to go.
Where's that at? Okay.
Okay? You can clean the glass too with almost anything. I know at the hospital I've been doing a lot over there, and during the winter they were using Xerox wipes to wipe the screen. And I was okay with that. You know, you don't know what's on people's hands anymore, especially in a hospital situation. So I don't care if you use the Xerox wipes on the face. Just be careful and make it not so juicy around the buttons so that the liquid doesn't go in. But if it's fairly dry, you can use it on the screen. I don't care. But any kind of a little tissue or towel or whatever will work fine. And generally just water's okay. But if you get into that nasty season and you want to use a Xerox wipe, I don't have a real issue with that. Okay, so that's the physical stuff on the machine. We'll go into the applications a little bit and show you that. First of all, device. So device is just information about your machine. About, again, gives you the serial number of your machine. It's also up on that little sticker, so you shouldn't have to go in here. If they hook your fax up and get your phone number put in, if you want to tell somebody what the phone number is, it's kind of nice to go in here and the phone number will be right out there, so you know how to tell somebody what your fax number is. Information pages. There's nothing in here that's really serious that I would print out. Everything's at www.xerox.com. I'll send you some little cheat sheets that link you to a Xerox website. And the user's guide, all this information is there. To print it out, you're just paying Xerox money to print little sheets out as far as I'm concerned. Not really necessary. Notifications or any problems with your machines will show up here as a yellow or a red flag kind of thing. It'll be a yellow line or a red line. Yellow lines are just, like you're out of paper in a tray, and it'll show, add paper to tray 3. So that's how that will work. Not a problem. Paper trays just shows you all your trays at a glance and what size and type of papers in every tray. So you'll see every tray, how full it is, 25%, 100. The bottom one is your bypass tray on the side, and there's nothing in there at the moment, but it shows you the size of the paper, the type of paper, and the color. When you load paper in these machines, you have some guides that you're just going to pinch and make sure they're just tight on the paper. Same with the other one. You can make them portrait like this or in a landscape direction, doesn't really matter. There's little pictures to kind of show you how things go. So if you're doing letterhead, for instance, you're going to put it face down. That would be that one. And put that face down in the tray. When you close the tray, you're going to get a little message that says, what did you do? So when this message pops up, if you put in 8.5 by 11 plain white paper, hit confirm, you're good to go. If you changed it, let's say I put letterhead in that tray. I go to where it says type of paper, letterhead, and now what happens is the machine will only select, if you send a plain paper job, it'll skip tray 1 and it'll go find another tray with plain paper. It won't waste that letterhead. So only letterhead jobs will print out of tray 1. Okay, so anytime you've got a special paper, whether it's a color paper or whether it's a type of paper, select it here, and again, it'll save you from wasting that special paper. And you can select it by the size, but usually the guides will tell you the size of the paper. Except in the bypass, it doesn't know the length, so you may have to tell it the length of the paper. Supply. So we talked about supplies a minute ago and how do you know where you're at. This little display shows you how you're doing with your toners, correct? If you hit the other, it'll show you all those drum cartridges that we were talking about. how full it is, percent of full. It'll show you how many copies before it goes bad and approximately how many days. So everything's 453 days for some of them, so you got over a year. But again, once you start using that, it'll come down and kind of level off a little bit. Okay. And finally in here, after supplies, is your billing information. Billing is automatic also, so at the end of every month, Xerox knows the machine number and everything, and they get a report every month on the number of copies.
So we don't have to call and
You don't
report
have to
or
call in
email.
any billing meters, how many black and white, how many color you did. It'll do that automatically for you. So you guys only get charged for the copies and prints that you use. Scans, there's no charge for. My understanding is it's 1.2 cents for every black and white copy or print, and it's 4.5. I think it's 4.5 for every color print. So it's fairly inexpensive, and you don't pay for any of the service. You don't pay for the machine just sitting there. That's all free. So the only really charge you have is for your staples, your paper, and really the per copy click meter charge per month. Okay, so let's go into the icons. We'll show you those. Back to home. There's an icon called Jobs, and Jobs is your print queue. So any job, as you're copying or whatever, will show the job highlighted. These are all completed because they're grayed out, and it'll save about the last 50 in there. And then after the 50th one, when 51 comes in, it deletes the oldest and puts in the newest in that list. You can't go back in and do anything with these jobs. You can just see when it was done, but you can't reprint the job that you've already done. Those are all deleted out of memory. Okay, there's something called Secure Print, and what Secure Print does is allow you from your desk at your print driver to put in a code. You put in a code, doesn't matter what it is, has to be 4 to 10 digits. And when you send your job, it comes over and sits in this Secure Print queue. You come into the Jobs folder, select Secure Print, you'll see your name. You'll touch your name, whatever code you entered at your desk, that's what code you enter here to print your jobs. Okay, so your jobs aren't sitting on that little shelf for somebody to accidentally pick up your job or something like that. So Secure Print's kind of a nice feature. And I'll send you a cheat sheet on how to use that, by the way. Okay. So to do faxing. You can create your own fax directory. You have numbers that you fax to all the time? Okay, so hit the manual entry, and under manual entry, enter in the number with area code, and if you need a 9 to get out or 91 or whatever it is to get out, put in that full number, okay? If you hit add, it's a one-time add. It's going to call that number and send it to that location for this one job, and then it deletes the number. If you want to save this number to your directory, hit the little purple button, and it brings up this thing which will allow you, this menu which will allow you to create a contact. So the phone number's there in 2 spots. It's under the fax icon, and it's also under the person's icon that you're sending it to. So just touch there and put in the contact information. Leave the phone number alone, but put in the contact information. Say OK. In this case, I'm going to cancel. But that now would go into your fax directory. So the next time you come into fax, let me just get out of fax here for a minute. The next time you come into fax, you'll go into your address book, and all those contacts that you've added will be in here. So you can do one at a time, or you can just put multiples in as you're standing here and just keep adding contacts if you want.
Can you edit those?
No.
Can you delete them?
No. IT can.
Your IT or our IT?
Your IT.
Okay.
They can go in and edit anything they want. They have access to the web page, and they can do it from their desk. So if you tell them these 3 people, 3 numbers don't exist anymore, you can have them removed out of your directory. Same with email. They can do all that from their desk. Just tell them which names and numbers you want out, and they can do it. So again, if I wanted to fax, let's go back into reset all. So again, if I'm coming up and I don't have the number in the directory, I'm just going to go to the manual entry, put in my number again, and hit add. number shows up here as far as who I'm gonna send it to.